One. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Randomly Generated Podcast, which has had a little bit of a hiatus and is now moved over to my Twitch channel for now because of unfortunate circumstances for Exotics, but he'll be back someday. But filling his role as my co-host would be Maximusj07.
Hello.
And this week we are joined by AJ Smith. What is AJ Smith 87?
90.
90. Okay, AJsmith90, a streamer. Do you YouTube at all or just stream?
I'm just streaming.
See, how me and Exotics worded this podcast originally was a little short-sighted. We said a guest YouTuber, but that really should be a guest new media person, streamers as well. And Maximus is also a streamer. Do you YouTube at all, Max?
I did. It's kind of gone on hiatus, but yes.
That happens with a lot of people that start streaming. They kind of neglect their YouTube. And we are also joined by Jim Shepard, the developer of Dungeonsmans.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you.
Dungeonsmans is a wonderful roguelike that got kickstarted not too long ago, and you'll be seeing a little bit of it later in the show. Everybody but me is quiet. Okay, I gotta mess with my sound settings here. Whoa, why did this get turned down? Hold on a second. Skype sound and sound settings are always weird for me. Is that any better? Would you guys talk for a second?
Why, hello?
Testing the sounds.
Hear us.
Is that better?
Are we better, Jens90?
Oh shit, I need to tweak this. There we go.
Sorry, Jens.
Okay, I can back it up a little bit here, just a little, because it's blowing my eardrums as well. So, all right, there we go. Sound always a pain when streaming. I do apologize to anyone watching this if this stream fails horribly, because I am not very experienced at streaming. Actually, Jim is more experienced at streaming than me, and he's an indie dev. That's kind of sad, isn't it? He streams all the time.
I'm actually happy to be an indie dev, but yeah, I stream probably once a week, just showing some development of Dungeonsmans.
He streams
when I
quite
can.
often, a lot more than I do. This is my second stream ever.
Wow, okay.
So I'm glad the podcast is back. It's been probably about a month since we've had a podcast because of lots of terrible real-life issues with cast members. And then last week, people bailed on me, and it just, Max, Max, and...
Sorry.
So it's back. It lives again. So let's start off with what we've been playing this week. How about you, Max? Max?
Lives. I've actually been playing a lot of Assault Android Cactus recently. That game is so much fun, and it's by one of the greatest indie devs that I could ever know, besides Jim, of course. And
Excluding present company.
it's
Sure,
amazing.
sure.
So,
It is a great game. It really is. I suck at it, but it's a great game. What else you been playing? Is it really just a cactus? Max, are we losing you? Or is my connection going wonky?
No, I can hear you.
I can hear you.
sorry.
Max has connection
Max.
issues today, apparently, but you been playing anything else besides Cactus, Max?
No, it's me.
Okay. How about you, Jim? What have you been playing this week? Do you play
Um,
anything with developing?
Has
The only
Max
game
has tied his microphone to his cat, apparently, and is chasing it around the house. Go ahead, Max. Answer the question, because you got cut off.
I think he might be having delay.
Sorry. No, just I was playing. Yeah, it's a lot of delay.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. So for myself, the all-consuming creature that has owned up my last set of gaming hours is Risk of Rain. Oh my goodness, it is fantastic. Risk of Rain is exciting, full
love
of
it.
monsters. It is item porn, and I am having a blast. I'm pretty bad at it, but I've been watching another player who streams it and trying to pick up some tips, and I've managed to clear the game once. I've unlocked about half the characters, and I feel like a pro. So yeah. So there's Risk of Rain, and then November 3rd was my birthday. I was very fortunate to have a number of games bestowed upon me over Steam, which was really great. I've been playing Delver, which I enjoy. It's a first-person roguelike with a very Minecrafty, simple layout. You're just exploring this dungeon. It's only about 6 or 7 floors deep, but it's really nice. It's simple. It moves quick. You have to do everything in real time, from drinking potions to equipping armor. So that's kind of exciting. And it's going places. It's still in production. It's one of those early purchase games on Steam. So Delver is worth a look, and it's certainly enjoyable. Yeah.
I've seen it. I've been meaning to pick it up at some point. And I have a question. You said you beat Risk of Rain once. Was that on Drizzle or the normal difficulty mode?
Oh, Drizzle doesn't save your progress, right?
It says that, but you can still unlock things, so I don't understand what that actually means.
No, I've been playing it on normal
Nice.
the whole time, so I've not tried it on easy peasy mode. No, well, I got through with the Huntress. That class feels like easy peasy mode because she is
I love
so
the
good at
Huntress.
hiding. Yeah, you just run away from all the monsters, and you shoot them, and your millions of robots and missiles blow them up, and you have a big smile on your face for half an hour, and it's great.
Yep. How about you, Amanda? What have you been playing? Or AJ? I'm sorry, I'm looking at Skype. I hope you don't mind I say Amanda.
That's okay. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Assault Android Cactus as well. Also been doing a lot of Splunky, of course. But then recently I just started playing Contrast, which is a pretty interesting game.
I want to play that.
So, yeah, it's a lot of fun because you switch between like the reality of the game and then like this shadow world. So it's very
Are you playing
fun way
it
to do
on
platformers.
PS4 or PC?
PC.
How much is it on PC anyway? I need to pick it up eventually.
I want to say it's about 20,
Is it 20?
tops, maybe? Yeah,
All right.
I think so.
And that everything.
I've
you
linked it
played?
in chat, I think, the Contrast game. Just so, if we're talking about these games, might as well link them so the people who are near can take a
Good
look.
point. Glad you're on top of that because I always forget links. Myself, I've been playing a lot of Risk of Rain as well. I've actually beat it 3 times, twice on easy, once on normal. I beat it first time on normal difficulty, last night on the Play to Win stream, actually. After he just kept dying and I just decimated the game. I got lucky on item pickups and just destroyed it. It was great. It was so satisfying.
Yeah.
I've unlocked most of the characters. I have 3 characters left to unlock, and I need to get on that. It's some of the items to unlock. I don't know if I'll ever unlock. Some of those achievements to unlock items are ridiculous, like the Commando's second one that is activate the 3rd teleporter without ever taking damage. So you have to get through 3 levels without taking damage.
That's not going to happen for me. I'm almost certain.
That's absurd.
Yeah.
Unless there's some trick to this I don't know. I gotta figure that one out.
You do that one in co-op, right? That's the
I'm
idea.
assuming. I'm assuming
Have
that's what
co-op, and one person goes and crushes monsters. The other one
Hides.
plays the commando and hides under anything he can hide under, and that's how you would do it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. I'm gonna have to attempt that at some point. I've also been playing a lot of Our Darker Purpose. Its beta came out not too long ago, which is mostly content complete, and now they're just in the polishing, balancing, and bug smushing stage. So it's going really good. That game's really hard. It's got 4 chapters. I've only been able to get up to chapter 2, beat chapter 2. So I need to play that some more. It's got an item in it named after me, so I play it considerably.
Cool.
Yeah. And I will link to that because it is a great game. It is in beta right now. And I don't know how long until it releases, but it will be on Steam because it got greenlit. It got greenlit before they even tried pushing a Greenlight campaign, which is crazy. Greenlight's a lot better than it used to be. Speaking of Greenlight, are you doing anything with Greenlight, Jim?
Dungeonsmans has been on Greenlight for almost a year now, and it is, well, it isn't doing well, and I've had to study that and understand why. People like Dungeonsmans. It's a successful Kickstarter, right? So I've proven that that there are people who would enjoy the game and are willing to support it with actual cash money. But when I launched the game on Kickstarter, that was December 21st of last year, and my timing was to. So the roguelike. The roguelike seasons are winter and spring break from college. Like, that's when there's so much roguelike activity, because you got these hobby programmers who are like, oh snap, I've got 2 weeks, I can't wait to start making games. You've got developers who are working at big studios and they've got their week or so off, and they're like, oh man, I'm going to sit home in my pajamas all day and code what I want to code. So these are great seasons for roguelikes. So that's when I launched it. And the response was lukewarm, because it just didn't have the visual fidelity people wanted. And I know you're like, oh, roguelikes, who cares what they look like? But it matters when you're on Steam and you want to say, pay dollars for this game. It needs to look better than it does.
It's definitely the more traditional roguelike with tile graphics, so.
Yeah, it's the everything about it was good, but very little of it was great, and some of it was sub good. The version that came out in the summer of this year, the Kickstarter version, was a big improvement. And now, if people have been watching the streams and seeing the updates, Dungeonsmans looks incredible now. There's just some really excellent artists on it. Thanks to Dungeonsmans dollars, it's able to get some really good work on there. So hopefully, my goal is to send out a second Kickstarter push later this year, maybe as soon as 3 weeks, when I have the assets and another video and really awesome screenshots. That's my plan.
And I'll help you try for a good Kickstarter push. It's definitely much easier to get through that than it used to be, so.
Yeah, it's, either it'll make it in a push, or I'll just be, I'll just stick with it, and eventually I'll be the last game not at greenlit, and I'll just have to get in by default, right? I mean, they greenlight, 100 games at a time, so I'll be there eventually.
What place are you at right now on Kickstarter?
I have not even reached the top 100. I am somewhere along. I can actually bring it up now. I think I'm at 70% of the way, if not a little more. Which, I haven't. When the Kickstarter happened, there was a big upsurge in yes votes. People were visiting the page and they were excited about it. But after that, there's been very little, and I just haven't. I've been holding back on making a big greenlight push, 80% as of today, to the top 100. Holding back on making a big greenlight push because the assets aren't there yet. When I get the new art up, that's when I'll do it.
Well, go ahead and link your greenlight into the chat, and I will link it in the VOD of this as well when it goes up on my channel.
Okay.
So,
sounds good.
Give it some greenlight votes. Go show it some love. Give it a thumbs up. It's free. It takes a couple clicks. Go do it.
Well, thank you very much.
It's amazing how hard it is to get people to just do a few clicks sometimes. It really is. Alright, so I guess we will move on to gaming news, which is kind of a general term. Not all indie, not just AAA, and anything that applies to us interestingly. Big one would be PS4 launch. Does anyone here own a PS4?
I do not just yet.
Nope. Okay, well, we don't know anything about it, so.
I had thought to purchase one, but when it came down to it, I'm excited about the PlayStation 4. I'm excited about the system. I like the idea that it's much easier to get games on there as an indie. However, my girlfriend and I were thinking about what would be the most fun for the money a PS4 costs, plus another controller and all the jive. And we said, well, maybe new video cards would get us more enjoyment, because we spend a lot more time on PC than we do on console. So that's what we're leaning toward. We'll see if there's any crazy sales on Black Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, same here. I am primarily a PC gamer. I really haven't played a console game in a very long time. My PS3 sits unused. I would like to own one, but it's not really going to be my priority. PC master race all the way,
Yeah.
It does
Absolutely.
have some cool features, though. The built-in Twitch streaming is a really cool feature. But it does have a negative side effect that hit the news yesterday, I believe. Unfortunately, it lowered the barrier of entry to become a Twitch streamer and brought in a lot of console idiots. Now, I'm not saying all people who play consoles are idiots, but there are some idiots that play consoles because they, aren't bright enough to mess around with PC gaming, which is definitely more complex. And it's made it really easy for people that generally couldn't stream before because they just, weren't the kind of people that could figure that kind of stuff out. And it's brought in some bad, like a guy getting his wife drunk and passed out on stream and then stripping her naked on live Twitch stream. That was just...
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I mean, not really awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome in that sense. Well, do you remember Uno on Xbox 360 and the controversy there?
No, the 360. No,
So,
I'm not
so
recalling anything.
Uno was a 360 game. You know, the card game Uno, where you screw your friends, draw four, and have a terrible time.
Yeah.
That game had voice chat and camera chat as well as you were playing with friends, and it was the game you played if you wanted to go online and watch people do lewd things on camera.
So strip
It just
Uno, huh?
Oh, wow.
It strip Uno at the most civil. It would be very interesting. The things that would happen there, and eventually Microsoft clamped down on it. But the reality is, if you put a camera and internet access in front of people who, you're going to get this. It's going to happen, right? So you would hope that Sony doesn't say, okay, well, we're taking the feature down or we're doing whatever. It's just sort of the nature of people, and policing it is better than shutting it down. I don't know if they can afford to. Clearly, Twitch doesn't want to be known as, drunk lady boob channel.
Yeah,
But,
Twitch already banned that person's channel, that's for sure. Which I wonder if the channels are like hard connected, your account's hard connected to the hardware ID of your PlayStation, so you can't even make another Twitch channel if something like that happens. I hope so.
I hope so. Yeah.
So do I. So bam, that but that would suck for secondhand sales. Then you buy some scumbags PS4 and can't stream off of it. That would kind of suck.
Well, what would happen? I mean, it can also detect IP address and a combination of the hardware ID, the IP address, and maybe your own account. Because if someone loses their PS4 account's access to Twitch, that's kind of, if there's someone who cares about their console gaming account, they don't want to have that banned.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't matter. You're going to find this on the internet. There will be, at any given point, at least one pair of balls on the camera, right? Across all the players of the PS4 in the world, how can you say that's not going to happen? So it's working around that or canceling the whole service.
I'm actually kind of surprised I've only heard of one incident so far, so maybe it's not going to be that bad since over 1 million sold on day one, and it pounded Twitch. Twitch was getting just hammered into the ground with all the people streaming from PS4s. It was like hammering it, so a lot of people streamed, and only one bad incident that I have heard of, so maybe it won't be too terrible. Maybe people heard of it, found out that guy gets banned for it because, Twitch doesn't allow that kind of stuff, people. And maybe everyone else will, learn from that guy's mistake. I don't know, but it's a bad start, that's for sure. Alright, what else do we have for gaming news? Well, something that's not exactly gaming news, but is definitely of interest to people in the industry that we are, is the wonderful devs behind War Z, which is now renamed to what? Survivors Stories, something like that. Terrible game, terrible developers, complete scumbags. I don't bash indie devs ever, and these guys are complete scumbags. Well, now they've resorted to using the very broken and abusable copyright laws or copyright system on YouTube, and they are now attacking small YouTubers and having their videos taken down that are putting their terrible game in a bad light. They did this to a guy, I had it earlier, and I probably closed the website. This was actually reported on by Total Biscuit, which was nice. This guy was a small YouTuber, 11 subs when these jackasses attacked him with a copyright. He now has 900 subs because Total Biscuit covered the situation. So it actually worked out in his favor, but...
That's wonderful.
Yes,
wonderful.
It is, but it just highlights how broken the YouTube copyright system is. There was the whole incident with Gary's incident in Total Biscuit, which was a very stupid move on that developer, which is another indie dev acting like a scumbag, which really sucks, because previously I thought I never had to care about stupid copyright bullshit when I was only covering indie games, and now it has me worried, actually. But it's the second time an indie dev that I've heard of is tried to use the broken copyright policies of YouTube to silence criticism. And here's a tip for anyone. Trying to censor someone on the internet is going to always blow up in your face. It never works. Don't try. Especially trying to silence Total Biscuit, one of the biggest voices in the industry. That was stupid idea. But the War Z guys don't have the balls to go after big YouTubers that have made videos negatively portraying their game, so they've focused on attacking small YouTubers.
They're testing the waters. They want to see what happens when they do this. That was the idea. I think you go after the small potatoes. Obviously, they don't have the money to put up any sort of real fight, and so you say, okay, well, what does YouTube do? I linked something in chat, the Streisand effect, and there's the Wikipedia link there. And what that is the kind of the funny term for what you just said. Don't try to censor something on the internet. There was a piece of negative publicity for Barbra Streisand that I think it was some pictures of her house that were taken in 2003, right? And she was like, well, no, take that down off the internet. And she made this big deal about trying to suppress that. And of course, you can't do that, right? As soon as you say you want to do that, everybody's sharing it with everybody. And this is 2003. Yeah. This is before even YouTube. So, it's a fool's errand, and really, it won't work in the end. You talk about YouTube's broken system, and it isn't perfect, but I think that the good part is when they stop and say, when a human gets into the situation and says, okay, this person doesn't deserve a strike against their account, this was filed in error, and as long as they're being diligent about, sweeping up the stuff that falls through the cracks, and really, I think it'll be okay.
They don't ever. Unless the person that issues the copyright complaint withdraws it, it won't ever get removed from your YouTube account, and 3 of those get your YouTube account shut down.
What happened to Total Biscuit?
Unless Polaris's legal department, because he has a big network behind him, has put pressure on the Gary's Incident devs to remove it, YouTube won't remove it themselves. There is absolutely no support from YouTube for that kind of stuff.
Well, I'll tell you then, if that stays the case, then that's unfortunate for them, because at this point they don't want to lose business to Twitch. And it's like, okay, well, who cares about a guy with 12 subs, right? Well, oh, sure. I mean, maybe that's small potatoes, but when enough people start saying, hey, if you want to be cool and talk about things, you want to do it on Twitch because YouTube are dicks and they won't let you. I mean, that's bad for them. It's not like YouTube's going to close or anything, but I mean, it's bad for business, and they don't want to lose it to Twitch. So I think that if you, over the maybe next 6 months or so, you're going to see things change a little bit.
I'm answering Jen's here when she's talking in the chat. Once you get a strike, no matter how wrong it was, it remains on the account. Not exactly true. Total Biscuit had a strike removed from Sega for the Shining Force BS a year or so ago or whatever. But that's because Sega relented and had it removed from his account, had the strike expunged from his account. But yeah, it's only if the other party willingly has it removed will it ever get removed, and that only happens with people that have a large, powerful network like Polaris behind them. Anyone that's not in a big network and a huge YouTuber doesn't have any muscle against this kind of stuff at all. I could have just a swarm of trolls hit my YouTube channel at any time and make BS copyright claims on my videos and have my account shut down. It can be trolled extremely easily.
I'm going to gamble. I mean, well, it's actually not my gamble; it's yours because you're the one doing the YouTube videos. But yeah. You'll see things change over the next year, if not sooner, because that is letting the trolls run the show is something YouTube does. That's why they're making everyone post their Google Plus accounts, right? They want to cut down on the lack of accountability from people who are being dickwads on their site.
And it completely failed at doing any of that. We'll get to the comment system shortly, but honestly, they've actually been revising their policies to make it worse for creators. Actually, they've only done stuff to make it worse. It's the copyright system is not anymore. It's not there to protect anybody. It's there as a weapon, and it's ridiculous and it's broken. Horribly broken. There's been so many incidents. There's the Gary incident with Total Biscuit, the Gary's incident as it's called, and then Total Biscuit again was one of the first ones to start a campaign against this kind of stuff as hard as he could, because of Sega was going around copyright claiming any videos about Shining Force, so their trailer for the new Shining Force game could be #1 in the search rankings on YouTube. Anyone that had a search ranking above them for Shining Force got copyright claims on them. A blatant abuse of the system, and many accounts got shut down because of Sega, which is why Total Biscuit still has a boycott against covering Sega games. even though they apologized to him and had the strike removed from him, he will not be lifting that boycott until they remove the strikes and have the accounts reinstated of everyone that they attacked during that. And they're only interested in trying to kiss up to Total Biscuit because he has a large audience. They still haven't done anything against any of the other accounts they attacked. And so he still has that boycott against them. And then there was one, and I can't remember the exact details of this. If someone knows what I'm talking about and can find a link to it and throw it in the chat, that would be great. But there was one of a certain game, I think it was a horror game, but the name of the game apparently shared the name of a soap opera, of some foreign soap opera. That no one's ever heard of, and an actor or actress of that soap opera went around copyright claiming and content ID claiming, which are two different things, but both. Any videos made of that, or a bunch of videos, not all of them, but a bunch of videos made about that game, even though the name is shared with this soap opera, but the person clearly has no copyright claim to that game. But they are copyright claiming people with it, and then which makes the videos come down, and then the people also ripped the videos of those people off of their channels and then re-upload those videos on their own channel.
Okay, so what happens in the long run, right? That's the thing. I mean, obviously you're very focused on the things that have happened already, and the results of those things were, in a number of cases, especially with larger entities, they said, "Oh, okay, well we have to step back," and made a mistake. So now, if you look at what will happen in the next year, one of the biggest, the biggest console manufacturer, right, Sony, has now putting all their stuff on Twitch and not YouTube, and you better believe that. That's something that would have been beneficial to Google to have people in households pushing a button. I mean, they're going to try to get into the TV anyway with their Google Chrome thing that what's it called, the Chrome key that is made to plug into HDMI slots now. So Google doesn't want they don't want to see customers driven away because big terrible company are making their claims. I mean, it's not going to solve itself overnight, but with Twitch having its more lax format, they're going to have to compete with that. And that's just, it won't be something so terrible in the future. I'm optimistic about that because these companies want to keep making money, right? So that's what I think is going to happen.
Jen did find the link for me. Jen, you were amazing. You know everything apparently, but it was Persona. Persona was the games, which I should have remembered. That's a well-known game. But apparently there's a Russian soap opera with the name Persona. So the Russian actress was copyright claiming videos of the Persona games. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes,
wow.
And these are just the incidents I've heard of. There's countless ones happening to people that don't have much of an audience and much of a voice that no one's ever heard of, that, it never gets any public limelight. So, and yeah, there's more cases that I can't think of off the top of my head. Well, there's Nintendo was going around content ID matching people, which doesn't take down your video or give you a copyright strike. If a company content ID matches your video, they just take the revenue from the video. The video revenue then goes to them instead of you. They just steal your money. Yeah.
Wow.
And apparently Nintendo's so hard up they needed to go around and content ID match a bunch of people on YouTube for money, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're broke.
Yeah,
Nintendo's broke.
And after this hit the fan, and Twitter, it's all over Twitter. All the big YouTubers talk about it. Right, shortly after that, for the first time ever, this is something Nintendo doesn't do much, but Northern Lion got a email contact from Nintendo asking him to cover their game. Get a copy of their game, and he's like, "Nope, not because you did this."
Wow.
Yeah, it's like all of a sudden Nintendo's like, "Oh, we're finally catching up with the times and getting in with new media and reaching out to YouTubers after we hose them all, after we intentionally take away from the community. We're going to then ask them for their help." They're crazy. They're crazy. I don't get Nintendo.
You want to understand one thing though, is that they're probably two different parts of that multi-headed beast, right? Nintendo, a worldwide corporation. So while you can look at the stuff that maybe came from Nintendo Japan or from people who are much older and don't understand what's going on.
That's what a lot of this comes from, is Japanese companies don't seem to understand new media yet. Sega, Nintendo Japan, Both of them.
What they hear is like, oh, people are making money off Pokemon without giving us any credit. That's what they hear. That's not the truth, because clearly there's a benefit in people playing Pokemon and showing everybody how cool it is. So that's what the suits hear, and they make their call. But then you've got the younger people who are more in touch with the reality of today's marketing, and they are the ones saying, hey, Northern Lion has a lot of viewers and he does a good job talking about games, let's give him a copy. They're two different beasts, so it's certainly worth being upset about. But the people the people who got Northern Lion's wrath were not the people who made the decision to be jerks about Content ID.
Yeah, but if you accepted their offer and made a video of the game they wanted to send them, and then the Nintendo would turn around, Content ID match it. But
you're totally right. There was no way he would make a video about that. That would be a mistake, and I'm glad he didn't.
Actually, Jens points out something I didn't realize, but now I kind of remember that I kind of knew this. When a company Content ID matches your video, they take all monetization from your channel, period. Every video. RPG, Rock, Paper, Shotguns, for a while, could not monetize any of their videos because of Nintendo Content ID matched them. And this is where it got stupid. This was actual press, where their Content ID matching press B-reels that they sent out to press that they made a video of, like Rock, Paper, Shotgun used the B-reel that they sent them to make the video, and then they Content ID matched the video from using content that was sent to them for the exclusive reason for them to cover their game for them. Yeah, that's the most backwards thing I've ever heard of in my life.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's clearly because Nintendo has no clue how YouTube actually works. I am honestly thinking that's the reason for it, but yeah, it was a pretty bad situation, and now a lot of people don't cover Nintendo games because of that.
Yeah.
But I think the most blatant one of being abuse of the system is this Russian actress one. Yeah.
But that's just so random too. Just a Russian actress is like, hey, that's my name. Like,
it's the name of the show I'm in. My money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's horribly broken. And it's Content ID match, content or copyright claim stuff, is meant to be a shield to protect people from, being ripped off, because there is legitimate uses for it, but unfortunately it's become nothing more than a weapon to attack people with lately. Mm-hmm. And it was designed originally, Google bought YouTube, and YouTube at that time was the Wild West. All kinds of copyright content on there. I used to go to YouTube back in the day to watch anime, that no one had the rights to be putting up there. And back in old day of YouTube, there was no such thing of doing anything about it, except for maybe like a takedown notice and get it taken off of there. But there's no way to keep up with the masses. So Google buys it out and is a desperate attempt to make YouTube legitimate, puts these policies in place in a very blanket way, in a very not very thought out way, that's for sure. And it's stayed that way since then as YouTube has matured, and now people have figured out what they can just use it to attack people. And so unfortunately the policies have not progressed with the medium.
Yeah.
Yes, I did, Ginger. I used your voice in some of my videos. Copyright strike me, and I will drive to your house and punch you in the balls. Just saying. I will find you. It's not hard to find a giant red dragon, right? Right? Okay. That's what I thought. So that's actually the whole copyright thing is a rant I've wanted to get out for a long time, so that just gave me an excuse to do it on the podcast. It's broken, and it terrifies me, actually, because if I get copyright claims on me, I have no one backing me to help me with that. I'm an RPM network, which is a good network, but they don't care enough about the small people to even try to fight for you against that kind of stuff. So it terrifies me. The small YouTubers are the ones that can be hurt most by it. They don't have a large enough voice and a large enough backing to fight against any of this kind of stuff.
So why aren't you moving to Twitch?
I Twitch now and then, but
no, you said you were terrified, right? So for your business, for your own personal brand, and that's kind of a dumb corporate thing to say, but like for the Fedora Gamer brand, right? You're making your videos, you're talking about games, you're trying to get your fans engaged. Why are you staying on YouTube?
It's a lot harder to get anywhere on Twitch than it is on YouTube. It takes a
okay.
a lot of time and a lot more effort to get a decent following on Twitch. There's a lot less people making a living off Twitch than there is on YouTube.
Okay.
I'm going to do both. I will stream a little more often, but most YouTubers Twitch as well. So, and a lot of Twitch streamers use YouTube as well. Most of them do it just to throw VODs on it and call it a video. But hey, if
Right.
if it gets views, it works. And yeah, that's the bad thing is, especially like I usually do most of my recording stuff late at night, and that's not the best time to be streaming. But that's when my house is quiet, I can do that stuff. So Twitch is all about time of the day. You can put a video up any time on YouTube, and your subscribers will view it when they want to, kind of thing. So, so I do want to do more Twitch though. That's for sure. I hope with a lot of the big names, because Nerdcubed has been very vocal about the copyright bullshit as well as Total Biscuit. I'm hoping enough noise will be created eventually for Google to actually do something, and do something to protect their content creators instead of actively working against them. That's what annoys me the most about it. If without content creators, YouTube doesn't exist, Google. Wake up. You treat them like they're all criminals, pretty much. You need to do something to protect your content creators, because they're the ones that are making you your money. Anyway, I think I get off that, or I'll rant for another God knows how long. Well, let's see. What else was there for gaming news? I know I had something else in mind. Anyone else know anything they want to talk about for news recently?
I think you had mentioned the YouTube comment system.
Yo,
again.
right. It's garbage.
A lot of people are very, very upset with that, just considering how many videos have been made, how many people are talking about it. I mean, it in a way, like, I guess it kind of made sense in order to try and maybe make the comments a little bit more personal, but, like, it has just blown up, and people just are trashing it left and right, and it, and yeah, again, Bob, as Ginger Dragon pointed out.
That never
Bob
showed
with
up on
his
my
tank
channel, thank God.
with his tank and the machine guns, and just wanting to revert YouTube's comment system back to the way it was.
It was a site-wide revolt is what it was. It was actually impressive.
Yeah, it was very impressive just how many people came together and were like, we do not like this at all. So,
It's like everything it set out to do sounded good, and it's like it was made by people with great intentions that have no idea how the internet works, apparently.
yeah, I think it was just one final attempt at maybe Google trying to push Google Plus on all of us to make us...
It was that. It was them using the most popular platform in existence to try to force Google Plus into relevance. Because they haven't been able to make it relevant in the social media area at all with their own efforts, so they decided they would try to force it into being relevant, which just makes people hate it more.
Yeah. You don't force things on people. You do not do that, and especially on a site like such as YouTube. You really don't do that.
Some of the features of the new system I thought were cool. I mean, the second I heard people can post links now, I was like, and who thinks that's a good idea? Like, who at Google... like, the person making this has never used the internet, apparently, because who at Google ever thought that was a good idea? You can block them by blacklisting HTTP:// and they'll block all links. Thankfully, there's a trick to block those. I haven't done it because I haven't had an issue with it on my channel, because I'm not big enough to get the ridiculous amounts of spam. But and then no length limit on comments. People are posting entire books in a comment.
I heard someone posted a script to one of the Star Wars movies, I think, on a comment.
No length limit.
Crazy.
ASCII porn. Tons of ASCII porn.
God.
And the entire thing was that there's no vote up, vote down system anymore. It's basically the comments that get the most replies become the top comments. So people that would leave terrible comments and have tons of people replying to that comment saying, you're an asshole, shut up, and stuff like that would then end up at the top comment. So all the worst comments would end up as the top comments when that system was intended for the best comments to end up. But no, it's because you insult some big YouTuber, and then all its fanboys will reply telling you off, so that then becomes the top comment.
Troll successful.
Yeah, it pretty much... The goal of the new comment system is exactly the opposite of everything they wanted happened. And
Yeah.
anyone that knows the internet who would know exactly what was going to happen with that system. Google is so disattached, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Apparently, they supposedly changed algorithms that are supposed to make it better, and I haven't really paid enough attention to large YouTubers' channels to see if it has made it any better yet or not, but they did actually acknowledge the issues and respond to it, which is a very rare thing for Google, because Google has absolutely no support for, there's no support. What was that? Oh, thanks, Jen. She's going to go spam stuff now. Oh,
Jen, why would you do that?
what's my YouTube? Fuck you, Jen. Oh, thank you, Ginger Dragon. How nice of you. Oh, Jesus.
The dragon is so kind.
Yes, but yeah, the new comment system is pretty terrible. There were some features I liked. The whole making you use your Google Plus accounts for accountability, but it still gives you the option to enter any name you want. So there's now like 2,000 Adolf Hitlers on YouTube. Instead, it used to just be one Adolf Hitler. Yeah, you can just use whatever name you want now. That had no point.
Did they keep the Marcus spam thing, or did they remove that too?
Well, that should be there, but it marks all the good messages as spam and ignores the spam messages. It's hilarious.
Gotcha. Okay. Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Because you said they removed quite a bit, like especially the rating system, but I wasn't sure. I don't see a reason why they would get rid of the spam. I just wasn't sure.
Well, now it has an automatic detection of spam. They'll flag stuff at spam and won't post it on your channel until you go and approve it. And it marks everything that's normal to post as spam. And it catches some of the spam, but then some spam still gets through without it automatically flagging it as spam for your approval. And it's a terrible system. Someone with millions of subscribers does not have time to manually go through all of these messages it auto marks as spam when most of them aren't spam.
Yeah.
It's a pretty bad system. There's some things I liked about it, and some things sounded really cool about it, and it just did not end up being at all what they had envisioned its result to be, unfortunately. Yeah. I don't know. I guess
kind of got spam filtered.
Nice. Okay, maybe it does work sometimes.
Maybe.
YouTube knows Jen, and YouTube knows who Jen is. I don't know, I guess no one else has much of an opinion on the YouTube comment system as me here, since no one else actually YouTubes but me here, huh? I mean,
I've heard it was really terrible, but I didn't really hear many of the specifics about it.
it's hopefully it's getting better.
Honestly, it just kind of seems like you have done a good job of covering the ground of why YouTube is bad, and it's a subject that you have discussed at great length.
Yes. I love the potential it has in the platform, but it's like every change recently Google has done has just been terrible. I don't know. It's like, again, it seems like people that are making these decisions don't actually use YouTube. So, I don't know. Hopefully Google will turn their act around and actually do stuff that's good for the content creators in the coming future. Alrighty. I guess that's enough for news, because it's all pretty depressing, actually. So, I am going to play Dungeonsmans, apparently, if I can find where I put it. It's a great game. It's been a while since I've played it, and now to figure out how to get it captured on stream, actually. I don't know OBS very well, so let's...
Oh, you hadn't set that up beforehand?
No, I didn't really mess with it. Let's...
I see.
OBS, what's the best method of capture? Does game capture work, or is it window capture work best?
Game capture should work fine. Window capture also works, but I mean, either one of those is good. Game capture is usually faster, but that's when you're talking about like really high performance games that are turning your video card to mush. So either one of those should work for you.
All right. And it looks like it's capturing all right.
Awesome.
See if I can fit to screen here.
Hey, great.
There it is.
Cool.
There we go. All right, it's been a little while since I played this, so I'll probably be pretty terrible at it. Oh, Jeez, that's probably really loud.
Uh-oh.
Working on it, working on it.
I like the whole let's go die in the dungeon.
Yeah. I was playing it a little bit earlier.
There, okay,
Nice.
sorry chat, I hope I didn't destroy your drums.
So
They're
a
all
lot
deaf,
of
they can't hear you now.
the Let's Go Die in a Dungeon came from 2010 when Dungeonsmans was first playable, and I had a bunch of friends who played it and other people, and one of my friends was just getting so upset, and he named his character after, like, I don't know, 12 deaths. Let's go die in a dungeon in all caps, and I thought that was awesome. Like, what a great tagline for the game. So that was good.
Alright, audio level's good, guys? Okay. We'll go ahead, begin adventure. I'll just stick with the default, the randomized area name. And we will be Fedora Mans.
Nice.
Now, when making a character in this game, you are presented with 5 randomized stat blocks, and whatever kind of character you're going to want to make will be what you want to lean towards in your stat blocks, but sometimes you end up with a bunch of terrible stat blocks, so...
Yeah,
this one's real good.
The goal here was to make sure people didn't spend all their time rolling dice min-maxing, because if a game gives you the option of re-rolling, then there's no point of it. You just sit there and hit the button until you get the best possible stats. Here, though, you might want to take a shot with a less than awesome. Like, for instance, you've got a guy there with 17 science. In this build, that's probably not going to be great, but science makes things like damage over time and potions way more effective. So that could be an interesting character. And but if you don't like him, you could say these are all terrible, and throw Fedora Mans out. And if you do that, you will have to create a new Dungeonsmans with a different name, because Fedora Mans is now wandering the world, not quite good enough to be in the academy.
Alright, I'm going to go with the first stat block. It's pretty good all around. Since I'm going to probably play a Ranger Mans,
Okay.
but strength is always good to have as well. I haven't unlocked any of the other ones. Necromancer. I love that,
Right.
actually. It's actually really hard to unlock. Go with Ranger Mans. Oh, let's see. Choose 2 perks. I can't remember what was good. Let's see.
Real quick, we have a question in chat if this game is available on Mac, or will it be?
Certainly. Hi, Jens. So, there is no Mac version right now. However, I do have friends who run the game in Wine. I don't know. That's obviously not a perfect solution. It's very difficult. It has been difficult for me to say definitively if I can do a Mac Linux version or not. I just have to see if I have the resources to do it. I mean, if that's time I'm spending on that, could I be spending it making the game better? Is it something I want to do maybe after launch? I hate the idea of treating Mac and Linux players as second-class citizens, but it's about my own ability as a developer and the resources I have, the machines I've got. I mean, it's something I'll have to work very hard on if it comes to pass.
She's so lazy for wine. Oh.
I still want a male Ranger avatar in here.
You have one, I think.
I don't see any that are...
Sorry. You're right. If you look at the top, the name of the sprite for the dude with the green cloak is called Ranger Mans. That's just the name of that sprite. Because he doesn't have a bow. So you're right. He was the 2-sword dude.
Yep, I'm going to use him anyway.
Okay. Yeah, those heroes are changing out. I mean, if you've seen some of the new art, there's a significant difference, and I want to have a better variety of classes and genders together.
Nice.
Okay, and this is the Dungeonsmans Academy. As you progress through the game, there is a bit of a persistent progression system where you can find things in the world that will permanently upgrade the academy for future characters' benefit as well. Which I always do like a little bit of persistent progression in roguelikes these days, so you don't feel like when you die you just wasted your time entirely. This is the alpha build that was available for the Kickstarter. He's actually developed a lot more. There's a lot more to the game now, but he doesn't have something publicly playable. It's still kind of developer broken kind of stuff.
You can still download this version from the website for free. and if you want, and the feedback still works if you want to send in feedback using the in-game system. I get emails all the time from players still, which is definitely a morale boost. I'll get many plays per day, and the occasional feedback, maybe not one every day, but from people who are still picking it up for the first time and saying, hey, this is what I think of your game. That's a cool feeling.
Nice.
I just downloaded mine this morning, so.
You can drop a link to this playable build if you want to in the chat.
I will do so.
Alright, I guess I will go do the newbie dungeon. I'm trying to remember all the hotkeys here. It has been a while since I played this. As much as I like the game, I usually don't end up having time to play games off camera very much.
Sure. I totally understand. Well, for the movement of Dungeonsmans is best used with the number pad. If you don't have the number pad, you can use the arrow keys, and if you hold shift, the arrow keys will move you diagonally, which is, diagonal combat is very useful because that's how you could be surrounded otherwise. And then you use F to fire your weapon, your ranged weapon. Ranger Man starts with a bow, so you should be able
F,
to...
okay, that's what I need,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I should go equip stuff.
I think you are equipped. Picking your Ranger Mans, you come pre-equipped.
Okay.
And the cave, the green cave, is the Scrollbolt Warrens, the convenient Scrollbolt Warren, which is the easier starting dungeon if you want.
S is for skills? Oh, hey,
S is for skills, yeah.
you fixed that bug. That skill actually shows up without having to re-equip stuff.
I did fix it, and that was a very nasty bug, but I had fixed it up. So yeah, stick and move you've got right away. You can use shift and a number to bind it to a number key if you want. It's like shift 1 and you'll bind stick and move to 1. And you can jump around and stick and move at the same time.
Nice.
And it is very much a traditional roguelike in the sense that it is turn-based, is tile graphics. It's not like any of the new wave of action roguelikes we've been having recently. And it does lack a hunger clock, though, which will make a lot of people go, that's not a roguelike.
Yeah, they can say that all they want, and then
Yeah.
they can play games with hunger clocks until they're very happy or starved. That's
Yeah.
fine.
There's this, the rogue
so to
purists
me,
drive me nuts.
It's fine, and actually, there's plenty of games with hunger clocks that are great. So there's no way to say that that's bad. But when I think about, I think about Dungeonsmans all the time, and when I think about the idea of heroic adventure, starving to death is not heroic.
No.
It's real if you want to talk about reality kind of games, but you're supposed to be fighting monsters and then dying at the claws of something huge, right? That's heroic. Just running out of cookies when you're in the middle of a fight is really boring to me personally. And
Yeah.
so I don't think that's heroic, and that's why I do not have that in this game.
I die a lot that way in roguelikes. A lot.
So stick and move, I just saw you use that, and that is you moving, you're jumping 2 tiles away and firing at the closest enemy at the same time, which costs you a bit of stamina, but it's good to get out of trouble and keep the pressure on the bad guys. Jens is asking for a Twitter. Yeah, so it'll be, this is the game account, and then this is my own personal account, which is, I'm a sole developer of the game, so yes, everything I say does represent the developer, because it's just me. Well, that's not, actually, I should take that with a grain of salt. I'm the developer in terms of like game design, code, and building things up, and I've been that for a long time, but I have quite a few talented artists who have been pitching in and working on terrific stuff. All the art you see here was made by Bobby Fry. Almost all the art you see here, but Bobby's art. And then there's other art that's being worked on currently. You've seen some of the updates from other developers. Jeremy Cook is a very good friend of mine, and he's contributed tremendous new art. And he is, we worked together at Gearbox when I was there, and he was the art lead on Borderlands 2. So for him, this is a real treat because he gets to do some cool pixel stuff, while at the same time working on a game he also really likes. So, yeah, Dungeonsmans is fortunate. I'm fortunate to have his.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, Jim actually has a rather impressive AAA background.
Nice.
Yeah, he's worked at
He's
Gearbox.
got the music turned off, so it needs to come up naturally. Yeah. Yeah, I actually, I've been a developer in the AAA. I started in 2004. And my last AAA job was the end of 2012, the middle of 2012. That's when that was done. And at that point, I'd been working on Dungeonsmans in my spare time. Well, before my spare time, 2007 is when I started, 2010 is when I slowed down, and I went to when I started working at for EA. I had to stop because you don't want to work on anything outside of work when you're at EA because they're really picky about that. But after I left BioWare Austin, I said, okay, I can work on this again and maybe bring it to market.
I just picked up a book. Interesting.
Ginger, the sprites have one orientation. Yes, that's right. They can look left and look right. Okay, I mean if you if you move to the left, you'll look that direction. So, well, I appreciate that. I'm glad you say that, Jens. And I didn't. My last update was on the Kickstarter page, but I didn't update the website. And honestly, that's because I've been wanting to spend my time making the game and not talking about it, and so I really need to be a little more disciplined about keeping the website updated. But I tweet all the time, I stream once a week at least, and I post updates on the my Kickstarter page. Let me find one for you with some of the new art while he plays. Let me look real quick.
Speaking of the people that are helping you make this game, we should talk about the music, because it's kind of wonderful, and it's being made by Zircon, and anyone in this industry should know who Zircon is. He does amazing music for a lot of indie games. I can't think of what big ones he's done. I know he's been in some major indie successes before.
Well, he has been in indie successes. He has a number of albums that are not necessarily game soundtracks that he's made, and he also has done work for, I think the biggest title I think in AAA was Soul Calibur 5. He did some music for that. I mean, that was really cool because you get to work with. I know, right? That's amazing. It's really. I've known this dude's music for a long time. I've been a fan of OC Remix almost since the beginning, and so to actually meet him, he's a cool guy and we're friends, and it's become a very nice friendship. But there's always a part of me that's like, dude, I've been listening to your stuff for so long. Like, there are so many games I've worked on that were fueled by his music in some part. And I remember. There was, when I worked in Seattle, there was this drive over a long bridge, and I used to listen to this one track that he had made, when I could get to go fast, when it was like early in the morning or late at night when there wasn't enough traffic. And I listened to it all the time, and it was just like, man, when I finally meeting the dude, I'm like, you have no idea how exciting No More Limit was for me. And actually, I'm going to link that on the YouTubes, so nice. People who want to see that or listen to it can. But he's doing the soundtrack for this game. And he and I both we agreed right away that it should have a sort of a MIDI sound, a 16-bit sound, and I use that correctly, like from the both the late Super Nintendo era and also the early PS1 era. So it's not quite 16-bit, but it's about the kind of the reverb, the instrumentation. It definitely has a Final Fantasy Tactics feel to it. Suikoden 2 was a big inspiration for him for this soundtrack. So. I don't think can you hear it on? Actually, I have the stream muted, of course. I should just shut up so you guys can hear the music. Yeah.
We do have one question. Jen wants to know if there is any thought to multiplayer.
No, I will not do multiplayer for this game. It's just not the kind of game. I mean, I don't know. It would feel tacked on for me. And I would rather build this game multiplayer from the beginning. And think about roguelikes, though. You're playing a turn-based game. If one person is fighting 12 monsters, right? And every step, every move they take is life or death. And it's like, oh man, I've got to make sure I do everything just right. The other player wants to walk down a hallway. So every step is just pressing forward. So one person's taking 30 seconds for every turn. The other person wants to go to sleep and die. And that's why multiplayer doesn't quite work for this game.
Yeah, not in turn-based, that's for sure. It is turn-based. It may look like almost real time since I'm moving quickly, but it's turn-based like traditional roguelikes.
So are you on a laptop? You don't have the number keys available to you?
I'm not on a laptop. I'm just not comfortable reaching over to the numpad.
Oh, that's so far away.
Yes.
The funny thing is, I built this, when you look at the Scrollbolt Warrens, if you go back down to where that scroll was, if you would humor me, and visit down there where that scroll was in the corner, the idea was that if you were playing with right there, we're like 10 seconds behind now on the stream, right?
Yes.
But the little nook with that scroll in it can be accessed through corner movement. And so there's a lot of places in the Scrollbolt Warrens that are specifically based on corner movement, where you can say, how do I get that treasure? And then you push some keys and you realize, oh, I can use the number pad to move diagonally. And that's something I was trying to teach people with that. And it worked for the most part. If you don't want to use the number pad, then nothing can save you. But yeah. Also using shift will get you there too.
Yep, I've been using shift now and then.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm confused by which direction which moves which diagonal when you're using shift, but you know.
Yeah.
Oh boy, there's that champion. You want to stick and move there, or
Yeah.
you get torn up.
The stream is way behind. It's like more like
Yeah,
20
it is.
seconds behind. I don't know why, but
Yeah.
there we go.
Well, the chat is up
Twitch.
to date.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try to talk on the chat. Jens, you know, I'm glad you said that. It just, there's a lot of games where people can put multiplayer in. Great, good for them, awesome. But then there's some where it's just, if you're not building it from the beginning, then you probably shouldn't do it.
What's the key to level up? To spend your level up points? Excuse me.
It's you seriously burp on stream.
Yeah, unfortunately, and I said excuse me,
Good
but
grief, sir. I thought we were professionals. Okay, so
I don't know who told you that shit, but they're lying.
A is the key
A.
you press to open masteries up, and then you'll see a list of places you can spend your 1 skill point.
Now, I read a book that gave me a skill point in something. I don't remember what, though.
The book that I saw you pick it up earlier, it was a points in Dungeon Dervish, which is the dual wielding tree.
Oh,
So
that was
you
pointless.
actually, yeah, well, I mean, not really, because you can use 2 weapons and a bow at the same time. So you can, if you find a couple of good weapons, you can put them on, and then you have that for you, which is good.
Yeah. Dash and charge. Okay. Oh, not what I want to do. Let's go into Ranger Mans. Shellbreaker shot's always good to have. We'll go with that.
Ranger Mans.
Yep. And I picked up a bunch of equipment, so something's probably useful.
Oh yeah, the stream really is behind. Wow, look at that.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, it looks like you've got some useful stuff there. You haven't picked up how to use medium armor yet. That's fine. You can use that maybe on your next level.
Yeah.
The bows that you've got in your inventory, the discount short bow is actually better than the terror bow that you start with, because the terror bow is, terrible. So you're
Yeah.
better off with the discount short bow, and probably want to replace yesterday's knife with one of those hammers you've got, because it'll do more damage and it's also a one-handed weapon.
I can put them both on since I have dual wielding.
You could put them both on, and then you're a boss. Yeah.
Nice.
Now I don't really yeah. Never mind. You bump damage to use melee.
That's right. You bump damage is melee. Yep.
Now I just hammer some people.
Mm-hmm.
Probably head down to the 3rd floor soon here to go fight the boss, which might destroy me. I don't know. I haven't been messing around with any of my scrolls or potions yet, so. I'm glad there's no ammo in this game, though. That kind of gets on my nerves and when you play a ranged character in a lot of games, when you actually have to worry about your arrows.
Yeah, I understand it. There's games that want you to have bow be like a special thing that, I think Crawl actually does it pretty well, where Crawl, you save up stacks and stacks of arrows and don't use them until you're like 7th level, and then you can bless them all at once with a scroll, and then you're an archer. And that's not bad. But I also wanted the idea of strolling out of the academy with your big bow, even though it's a terror bow, and being able to be an archer from the beginning. Because it's you die a lot in roguelikes, and unfortunately the early levels become very similar. So being able to say, well, now I'm playing a ranged guy, now I'm playing a melee guy, now I'm playing a spellcaster, and have them feel different at the beginning was something I wanted to make sure I did.
Boss already. That might be bad. I have kind of low life right now.
Hit for the stairs.
Damn. I forgot he can charge.
Oh god.
I'm watching this 20 seconds in. Oh boy. Yep.
There he is.
What's the rest key?
Get out of there.
Yes, there you
The
go.
rest
H.
key is R.
Yep, found it.
Okay.
Yeah, I got out of there.
Yes.
You're going to hide in a corner.
Yeah, I gotta find another stairs.
That's awesome. That's
Different
awesome.
stairs down here. Don't want to go down right in his face again. Can't even figure out where I'm at. There I am. That's what I do like, is there's always multiple stairs down and up in most of these dungeons. So if one stair becomes real dangerous to try to go down, then there's another one.
Yeah, the Warrens is certainly set up like that.
The music stopped, oddly.
That is a bug with this build, and when you fight a boss and it changes the music, if you change floors before you kill him, the music ends up not working correctly. But it'll fix itself when you kill him, I believe, or at least when you go back to the overworld, it should fix itself.
That, I'm sure, is fixed in the newest build that's not publicly available.
No, not yet. I haven't. I actually haven't gone to mess with the sound system yet. So, yeah. Yeah, Jens, it's true. Having a good time and seeing the situation and laughing at it is certainly a treat. Because I don't even think it was necessarily dumb. It was just cool to see the surprise and react to the surprise.
What surprise? Huh? What am I missing?
It's actually quite terrifying seeing him running around.
The charge that guy did to you, which caught you by surprise.
Yeah.
Was,
now a
fun
bunch
to see.
of the normal ones are using that too. We got berserkers is why.
Yeah, the third floor has scrollable berserkers, and the boss is a champion berserker, unless you died in the first or second floor to a different monster, and in that case, that monster becomes the boss. And when you get down to the third floor, you find a champion version of him. That's
Interesting.
That's how. Yeah, monsters. When you kill a Dungeonsmans, you're like the best, right? Everyone thinks you're the best monster in the whole world. So you killed a Dungeonsmans, so they get to be the boss.
Medium armor, thank you. Alright, now I can put on some better armor here. Derpy Rebels leather -2. No, thank you.
Oh yeah, don't want to put on derpy armor. That's cursed. Yep.
I love your prefixes. There's a good amount of humor in this game if you actually stop and read it, which I haven't done a whole lot of, but there is a good amount of humor in this game. It is quite humorous, actually. There's a thing in the Dungeon Academy called the Wall of Text.
Yeah, if you start the game and you don't, the headmaster will set you off. Just go ahead, and there's no tutorial. But if you want to read a bunch of stuff about tips on how to play, you go to the Wall of Text and you can just read the Wall of Text over and over. And there's a bunch of different random tips that show up in there. And every backer for Dungeonsmans has the option. We haven't sent the survey out to add a line to the Wall of Text if they want to. Hopefully, it's a gameplay tip. I don't think I want to have like 30 different ASCII dongs as up there, but yeah.
I need to come up with something clever for the Wall of Text that I put on there. It'll just be my YouTube URL. There we go. That's perfect.
Yeah.
You tell me to fuck off, I'm sure.
Oh, well, I wouldn't use that word.
Damn it. I'm getting cornered here.
Oh, man, yeah, you're taking to the short pants. So those dudes hitting you at range are going to be happy to just do that. So it looks like stick and move. I would recommend, perhaps, if you've got the stamina for it, shooting that champion with Shellbreaker shot just to shut him up, and then continue to get out of the way.
I'm just getting away from them right now to regen up, then I'll worry about those jackasses. I can't shoot that far. Okay, I can take this guy out before the rest of them get to me at least. Weaken that a little bit. This champion's ruining my life.
Ruining your life?
Yes. I need away from him.
Yeah, see, you're double effed because those two guys can heal each other.
Yeah, that's not nice.
Yeah.
I can kill this one, though. Okay, now it's just down to the champion.
Oh.
So I might be okay here. Oh, what other skills do I have? Not that button. See, there's this Razor Fury. I'm assuming I got that from the dual wield tree.
That's right.
Is that actually increased damage of ranged attacks as well?
If it does, it's a bug. So maybe, but it's something you do when you've got a lot of trouble and you want to melee into it.
Okay. Well, it isn't very specific in its description of that, so I was wondering.
Yeah.
Okay, this is gonna go badly. He has a lot more health than me. And he's healing. Quit healing. Well, actually, when he heals, he doesn't attack me, at least. This is going... alright, maybe.
Oh, tense.
Oh, now I'm getting, like, really weak hits. I don't like that.
Yeah, you're just going to be trading shots with this guy for a while. I hope that... I hope you win.
Actually, I can try some potions. Let's try drinking random stuff.
I bet it's going to light you on fire. There's only one potion that lights you on fire, but when people are desperate, it always seems to be that one.
Well, this was called Blazing Tonic. I don't like that. But I have 6 of them, so that makes me assume it's probably one of the healing
Probably
potions.
a healing potion. Yep.
Oh, they're the most common.
We'll find out.
Discover Blazing Tonic is a lesser healing potion. Does it heal over time, or...?
It does. It's a hot.
Oh,
Yep.
I don't like that. I need it now.
Well, you do get some.
Yeah,
right
a little
away.
bit.
You get a couple points, but
Try
then,
one of these, too.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that one did. Wait, skin toughens like armor. Hey, that's useful.
Yeah. Look at these potions coming through for you. That's great. So now
Okay.
you've healed up twice, so you have 2 turns, and you're gonna reflect, or you're gonna take less damage from the shaman's attacks, and you might win. That's
I did
good.
win. Was that the boss of this one, or was that just a random champion? I don't remember.
That was a random champion.
I haven't fought the boss
And the
yet.
champions, they all drop their proofs of strength,
Yep.
which when you return a proof of strength to the academy, lets you increase your stats and lets future characters increase their stats too.
Which is a part of that persistent progression I was talking about. Finding proofs of strength and finding artifacts to bring back to the academy is pretty much how you get some persistent progression goodness going on. I will get an artifact from this boss as well once I find him and kill him. All kinds of scrolls and stuff. I kind of like dual wielding. When I get in a hurry and run into things accidentally, I at least kill them.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not a patient person, so I actually zip around, which usually gets me killed a lot.
Oh, look at that.
Ooh. I don't like this situation.
Yep, the in 2010, I wish I still had the screenshot. I might find it on an old computer. There was a player who had reached level 7, and he had done a bunch of work fighting these tremor worms that popped up on him. They're really hard. They have thick armor, and he killed them both. And he was about at a quarter health afterwards. And he was shooting very rapidly by pressing F. And it used to be when you pressed F and there were no monsters, you targeted yourself, and you would fire right away. And so he shot himself in the face, and he crit himself, and he died. And so his screenshot was like, crit yourself in the face and die. And it was like, well, the dungeon is never safe, is it? Now, if you try to shoot yourself in the face, you can try it by pressing F over your own self and trying to shoot, and you get a request. Are you sure you want to shoot yourself in the face? So you can do it if you want, but it's an option.
Yeah. How does that work? Have you ever tried to shoot a bow at your own face? That's not a very easy thing to do, I don't imagine. That would take talent.
Dungeonsmans are capable of great feats of face shooting, both themselves and others. Yeah.
I want to see a video of this at some point. It sounds really terrible, actually. I don't want to see someone do that to themselves. Never mind, that sounds horrible. Let's not look for videos of people shooting bows at their faces. Where did that damn boss hide? I'm not good at using
No.
the map. No, she wants me to shoot myself in the face. Okay, fine. Just because it's you, Jens. Hey, right in the face. 12 damage.
Nice.
Right in the face. That's where it's going.
Jens, the last the last stream I did for Dungeonsmans when it was the Kickstarter, and I was fighting a huge monster party, and everyone had said, don't go in there. Oh, they were. I knew if I went in the room I was going to die. They were like, go in the room, go in the room. So before I did, I actually turned on that Mulan song, "Be a Man," and we played it over the stream.
I was
And
there.
we jumped in there.
I was at that
Yeah,
stream.
you were there for that. Yeah,
Yep,
it was
that was-
awesome.
And you died.
Horribly.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
You died. A
Oh.
lot. It was great. That's when That was shortly after you added the Bling Reaper. I wish I could find one of those to show off, actually. The Bling Reaper is amazing. That's in this build, isn't it?
Nice.
The Bling Reaper is in the builds. You'll find him.
Only in higher dungeons,
I
yeah.
think. Well, not even that high. I think starting at level 5, maybe you can find him. So, I think that far. What is that sound?
But it looks great. It's a statue. It's a gambling thing, is what it is. But it's a golden Reaper with a giant gold clock around his neck and gold gems and studded, and it's a statue of a Reaper that's just completely blinged out. Would you die, please? Did I just hit him for 72 or 7 and 2? I was like, no, wait, no, he'd be dead if I hit him. There we go. And I beat the noob dungeon.
Nice.
And music came back. We fixed the music. Is there a quick way out of the dungeon? I don't remember. Alright, is there a quick way out of the dungeon, Jim? I thought there was, so I'm trying to remember how.
When you kill the boss either at his location or back where he spawned, which you can see on the map, should drop a portal that lets you go back to the top. So on the map you could look and see where he spawned from, if you can recall, and then that's where you go.
What's the portal look like on this map?
I don't think it's actually on the map.
Oh.
It's the looking at the map now. I thought you came into the top corner. You know what? The bosses are always spawned in a corner. I think yours is the top right, northeast, is where the boss spawned. So if you head up northeast, you may be able to find that portal.
All right. That's good. I would prefer if it spawned where you killed the guy.
That would be better. Yeah.
Portal, where are you? Ah, there's the portal. And a bunch more loot that I'm not gonna like scavenge this entire floor for loot. That'll just take a while, but I will grab this. Lots of barrel breaking in this game, so if you like breaking barrels, this is the game for you. Now, one thing to note about this game is the world map is static, but all the dungeons are randomly generated every playthrough. But the world map does stay static.
Yeah. So what happens is if you die and you start a new Dungeonsmans, the locations are the same. They refresh. When you go into the portal, when you go into that dungeon again, it'll be a different dungeon inside, but it will have the funeral pyre of your fallen hero, which you can find. And the boss will be the person who killed your Dungeonsmans.
Now I will go turn in my proofs of strength, and I also got alchemy lab stuff, which will upgrade the alchemy lab over here, which will then have all new characters will have tier 1 potions automatically identified for them.
Yeah, it's a choice. When you upgrade the lab, that's awesome. And then make sure you give the stuff to the headmaster. That's the person you drop all the things off at. So when you do that, you'll see the lab upgrade. Then when you start a new character, you have the option to go in and talk to that headmaster and say, hey, give me this training. And if you don't want it, you don't have to take it. You can be a hardcore roguelike player and not take the training. But if you want to, it's there. It's there for all future characters.
And you also get stuff put in this chest up here for you for completing that quest.
Yep.
Which, why can't I open the chest? Oh, it's for new characters only, right?
No, that's for you when you bump into it. There, you got them all.
Oh, it just
all
takes
the
them, yeah.
It says, picks up Lesser Academy Revitalizing Punch. Ginger Dragon, do we have a public release estimate? Yes, the release estimate is March.
And here is the wall of text. It's literally a wall of text. And then I can go over this training guy and turn in the proofs of strength to have stats upgraded. Okay, skill is important. Get that up to 17.
I think in your case, because you're a ranger man's, skills is what you want to increase.
Yep. I got it up to 17, so I put some strength too. So I always want to say strength. You and your funny words.
Strength.
Yeah. But for HP, you know.
I get it now.
Okay, and I think this will be about it for showing off Dungeonsmans for today.
Cool. I appreciate
It's
it.
a great
Thank you very
game.
much.
You guys should go play the beta, and just know that there is a lot more to come with the game.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, follow Dungeonsmans on Twitter if you want, and if you feel like really helping me out, you can follow me on Facebook too. It's always nice to see those numbers go up. I try to keep them both updated regularly with just Dungeonsmans news and other cool stuff.
Wrong image. There we go. Never mind. I fixed. I OBS sometimes. There we go.
Uh-oh.
Alrighty, now, well, I'm not even going to need to do that anymore anyway.
Very nice.
Because we are going to talk about a Kickstarter campaign. Let's window capture here. Yes, I should have set this stuff up ahead of time. I'm an idiot, so.
That's okay. Next time.
Alright. I know I have it open still. Okay, we are looking at a Kickstarter called Discourse, which is extremely interesting. I'm really intrigued by this. So, I don't want to capture the Twitch window, please. That would be pointless. There we go. Inner window only, blah blah blah, Twitch stuff. Not Twitch, but OBS stuff. Hopefully it's showing up. It looks like it should be. My stream always has like a 20-second delay. I don't know why, but this is Discourse, which I will drop the link into the description. It's a very interesting survival kind of... It's kind of point-and-click adventure, maybe. I don't know. It's really hard to describe, but we'll go ahead and watch the trailer for a moment. Which the trailer is really well done. The devs voice characters in the trailer. That's how they do it.
Oh, cool.
I like the art style. It's got a very interesting cel-shaded art style.
Ooh, I always like cel shaded. It's always a good
Hi,
little
I'm Alex, CEO and janitor
twist.
of Alchemy Labs. You may remember us from such games as Smuggle Truck and Jack Lumber. Now, with Discourse, we're tackling
Okay,
one-
why can't
Yeah,
we hear video? Let me check my audio stuff here.
Well, you have linked the video to your stream, so they could watch it if they wanted to, or they could hear it. I guess.
Why is Mozilla's volume turned way down? Damn you, Mozilla.
Well, that would be the problem. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Alex, CEO and janitor of Alchemy Labs. You may remember us from such games as Smuggle Truck and Jack Lumber. Now, with Discourse, we're tackling one of the most upbeat topics, surviving a plane crash on a desert island.
I love this trailer.
Hi, I'm Devin, Chief Technical Owl at Alchemy Labs. I've seen a bunch of Kickstarter videos that use a lot of smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
So,
It's,
we decided
it's
to do
cute.
the whole
It's
video
cute.
in-game.
They definitely have.
Since we're here, let's check out some
definitely
more
art
cool
style.
gameplay.
That they have well researted and invested in doing.
At its
everything
core,
looks very
Discourse
much,
is a deep branching narrative centered on a group of
I
strangers.
mean, there's lots of cartoony games.
Now,
out there,
the
but this
player
is a-
could just get up here and
this is a
bam!
style. Yeah.
Now let's see what would have happened if the player had made a different choice. Ooh, George isn't looking so hot. Too bad, he would have been your best bet defending against a boar attack.
Whoa, what happened here? I'm Carrie, lead artist. Speaking of art degrees, I may be a bit biased, but this place looks pretty damn good. But as you can see, it's a work in progress.
And this is why we need your help.
Support Discourse so we can bring this game to you.
And that's enough trailer for now. I really like how they did the trailer where they voiced characters in the game engine to make the trailer. It's pretty clever, in my opinion. It's a very interesting looking game. It's all about the choices you make when you're trying to survive, and there's tons and tons of branching paths for the how it progresses. There's a video on this as well showing some actual gameplay.
Yeah, I actually to prep for the for our podcast, I watched that video, and they've really put a big challenge ahead of them, because it's one thing to create the technology to have multiple choice discussions and different things happen and so on, but it's another to make those be meaningful and to make them be interesting. So there are people who are masters of that craft right now. Like you look at the Telltale guys, and holy crap, you look at their Walking Dead stuff, even the Sam and Max stuff, and now they've got upcoming titles as well that are very good when it comes to choices meaning something. So that's a challenge, and I would be interested in seeing how these guys can deliver on that challenge as they continue on.
Unfortunately, it looks like we lost Max out of the call. I think his connection dropped. He did say his connection was being a little goofy, so hopefully he'll be back momentarily. Get off AOL, Max. Seriously.
Yeah. Go crank up your dial-up again. You got to recharge the generator.
There's a really interesting feature that they just announced not too long ago. It's a bonus scenario called Indie Plane Crash, which the characters will be well-known indie developers. They have Tim Schafer, Phil Toboski, Octodad, I actually don't know, and Edmund McMillan. I don't know why I can't say his name right now. It says of Super Meat Boy. They really should say of Binding of Isaac. That's the more well-known of his games, I would say. But so it's a bonus scenario that's being added to the game with indie devs surviving a plane crash. That's going to be really entertaining, I'm sure. I actually really want to play that now.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I just dig the art style, and the gameplay looks really interesting. The branching paths, there is a little bit of action to it, like when it's not just select an option and it plays out. There's some things you actually have to, you actually do get control, and there's a little bit of some combat, like trying to hunt a boar. It showed in one of the videos. Mm-hmm. So it's not just choose your own adventure, the game. There's a little more to it than that. Feed the hamsters, yeah, right, Ginger Dragon. So I'm looking forward to this game, actually. I really want to play this, and I am going to back it when I'm less broke.
When you're less broke.
Yes.
Good man.
But let's see how it's doing. I didn't even look at that. It is about halfway with 11 days to go. Not looking extremely good, but I've definitely seen worse than that. Pull it from the depths.
Where are we at now? 19 out of 40? Yeah, that's that's tough. You really want to be at 60% earlier than that. But the big pushes that come from the last 3 days, man, they've saved a lot of Kickstarters.
They have.
And the thing you're doing right now, where you're making this podcast about the game, that's going to be, when the time comes for the social media blitz that always happens in the end.
Yep.
Things like this help get the word out. So
exactly.
Doing a good thing.
Which is why we do this segment on this podcast, because I love Kickstarter games. So many great games have come through Kickstarter. Dungeonsmans, of course, and Our Darker Purpose. Dungeonsmans was pretty down, but it had a crazy last push, didn't it, if I remember correctly?
It was. So there was, during the... I'm actually going to link something here and then talk about it in a second. During the Dungeonsmans Kickstarter, I knew, and we knew, that there would be a lull during the Steam sale, right? That's just going to happen. Like, you're not going to get people who are excited to spend money on Dungeonsmans when they could be spending $2 and get 50 games on Steam, right? So that's okay.
Bad timing.
No, and it wasn't really bad timing. It just, I thought, okay, the real goal is not necessarily money. I mean, you have to make the money to succeed. I thought, can I get X number of people excited about Dungeonsmans? And if I can get the people excited, the money will come next. So, my budget, I had built my budget, and I'd looked at other games in this genre, and I thought I could do maybe part of what they did. So I didn't think, for instance, I would be able to compete with stuff like FTL, but I saw how many people they attracted, and I based my numbers off less than that. I looked at Chasm, another Kickstarter game. I said, okay, well, I'm going to do less than that, but I had built percentages based on, what I thought I could deliver, and it was close. To be honest, a lot of the support, the initial support came from friends in the industry that I've met over the last 9 years, and they knew I could do it, and some of them had worked on it with me, so that was a very good thing to get the ball rolling. And my advice to anybody who's kickstarting anything is to try and have a big rush right out the door. Like when you first launch your Kickstarter, don't tweet about it. Tweet about it 2 hours later, once all your friends have thrown in their backing and your numbers have gone up. Because nobody wants to see 2 backers and 31 cents, right? They want to see a project that's winning. So you want to save your first tweets for maybe 2 hours after you've launched. That would be my advice.
Very true. I think this game will make it. I've seen, Our Darker Purpose was $10,000 down on their last day, and they made it. So, and their goal was the same at 40. So, I have good hope for this game. Excuse me. What do you think of the game, AJ? Honestly, what do you think about how it looks, gameplay style?
I think it looks great. I mean, I'm definitely finding I'm more of a point-and-click kind of person, just the preference of games that I play. And the art style is really interesting, and I'm definitely interested in playing this game when it comes out.
I want to play it. They don't have a playable build yet, unfortunately. I tried to hit them up for that, but so I could cover it on my Kickin' It series, but they don't have anything playable yet that's playable enough to be sent to people. The dev build he's playing is definitely a little playable, but so unfortunately that's the nature of being a YouTuber, is if there's nothing to make a video of, I can't make a video of it.
Right. Yeah.
But then I'll support it through the podcast at least, and it'll be up on the VOD on my channel, so it kind of has the same functionality. If people actually watch it on my channel, I don't know, but I really do like the branching paths and the branching, it's not just, it's not always the same, this scenario, this thing happens, and you pick one of 3 options, and it plays out, and then the next thing that happens is always the same. What you pick just leads to affecting all the other things that happen later in the game. Well, you might lose one of your survivors that is best suited for something else that comes up later, and then you're in worse shape to try to handle that. Interesting things like that. A lot of interplay between the decisions.
Well, you should check out the Walking Dead games for sure. Because those
never played it, and I really want to. I really want A Wolf Among Us. I really need to get that event at some point. I want that so much.
Yeah.
So it is a lot like Telltale game style of stuff, just a much different aesthetic than what Telltale does. Well, kind of. I mean, cel-shaded, and Telltale does cel-shaded, but,
Yeah, it's a different... these are... The Telltale stuff are supposed to look like people, and you're supposed to engage with them on an emotional level. Their facial expressions matter. Their proportions being more like real people helps bring you that connection. These guys are just little cartoon men's, and so it's going to be tough to get emotionally attached when they're not really people looking. But who knows? If their writing is up to snuff, maybe that won't be the case.
Definitely, I'm looking forward to it. It needs to succeed so I can play this. That's for sure.
Exactly. Well, I had linked another game in the Kickstarter, in the Twitch chat.
Uh-huh.
If you're interested in looking at it, it's a roguelike, and it's got an ask of all of $5,000 on Kickstarter. And I have played this game a bunch recently. I even played it on stream. I'm not really a streamer, but I wanted to show people the game. If you looked at it, cool.
Where link it again, would you? I'll take another look at another Kickstarter game.
Sure,
real quick.
it's the. I'll link it again. And this fellow. So. This game was brought to my attention.
Track links. Okay, I was looking for a Kickstarter.
Oh, that's the
link.
problem. No, you're right. I linked the wrong thing. That's I grabbed the wrong URL. That's why I'm a doof. Let me give you a good link, a non-doofy good link. There we go. Great. So this game was brought to my attention by this fellow Brian Jeffiers, who's a very big roguelike evangelist. And he knew Bob, and he was like, hey, Bob, if you're going to Kickstart, talk to Jim, because Jim's already running Kickstarter. And I had planned on playing this game for a little bit and then turning in some feedback, and that would be it. But I actually played for 3 hours without realizing it. And I said, oh, shit, oops. I kind of threw my night in the trash playing this game. And I liked it so much, I played it more, and it's a very simple, easy to get into game about space. You fly around, you explore, you trade, you fight. Lots of things to tweak, lots of little stuff to build up. And, the guy's working in his spare time on it. He's working as an evening project. And the money is to get fresh art and music into the game. And after talking with him a bunch over email, I feel like he can deliver on it, which is, I like to see games succeed, but it's tough for me to say, oh yeah, back this game when I'm not sure the developer can actually deliver. That's a big deal. But this guy can do it.
A sci-fi roguelike? I'm in. I saw you tweet about this, and I actually glanced at it and said, oh, I'll have to look at this more later, and then just kind of forgot about it, unfortunately. And there's a playable demo on the Kickstarter, isn't there?
There is a playable demo on the Kickstarter, and it's full features. There's lots of stuff you can do. So, I think Exploring Planets is probably the game's biggest draw for me because it starts off relatively difficult for you to do, but as you gear up, you can spend longer forays on the surface and fight tougher monsters. And
definitely not a graphically focused game. It's another traditional tile-based kind of roguelike.
Yep.
But I'm okay with that. I get a great nostalgia trip for those because I've played a lot of roguelikes in my day, so... Yeah. I do like the action roguelikes that have been coming out these days, but I do love a good retro, more traditional roguelike now and then as well. So I'm going to have to make a video of this. God, I have such a backlog of words. Backlog. Backlog. Okay, I have such a backlog of games to make. I got like 50 videos to make. I got like 15 games in my email right now. It's ridiculous.
Hey, that's a good problem to have.
It is. I'm drowning in indie games. I will die happy.
Yeah, exactly.
But I will definitely need to hit this one up because it's got 16 days left, so I'll try to get a video of it out in the next couple days, actually. Because those are more time sensitive, so I need to prioritize Kickstarters, because they're time sensitive, unlike the other games that are being sent to me.
Yeah.
All right, so we covered 2 Kickstarters in this one. That's fine. The more Kickstarters, the Kickstarter love, the better. I mean, obviously, I like Kickstarters because I do a series based around Kickstarters, which is how I met Jim, actually. And I've met a lot of great developers that have become really good friends through my Kickstarter series, which is one of the greatest experiences I've had from my channel.
Yeah, it's been pretty neat to connect with a lot of people over the course of this, and it's funny, the indie game culture right now. There's a lot of stuff that's more experimental, that's more maybe kind of goofy. Or there's a lot of games about emotions, and that's something that Dungeonsmans is none of those things. And so it's sometimes I feel a little like I'm on a different corner of the indie culture than that. But it's there are games out there that are just kind of focused on a really cool gameplay hitch and getting into it. And even if it's a genre people have seen before, it's still a good game. And that's what I'm hoping to deliver with Dungeonsmans. Like, no, I'm not making a game about about being a ghost who inhabits emotions and straightening some guy's life by going back in time. Those are really cool games. It's cool ideas, and I'm glad for them. But I'm on a game about crushing monsters and taking their stuff, and it's a different niche.
I don't know. Max dropped out of the call, but it's showing he's online, so I'm trying to get him back in the call. I don't know what's going on with Max. I don't know. Unfortunately, my co-host's internet is terrible. But I think we'll start wrapping up the podcast for today. Let's go ahead and do outros here. Jim, just go tell everybody again who you are, what you do, where they can find more about you, and drop some links in the chat if you would like.
Certainly. Well, thank you for having me on the conversation. I appreciate it. My name is Jim Shepard, and I'm the developer behind Dungeonsmans, and that is the focus of my life right now, is working on that game and making it great. So I have been in the industry for quite a while and only went independent in 2012. There's a lot of stuff on the website, which is dungeonmans.com. And you can also follow the Dungeonsmans Twitter, the Dungeonsmans Facebook. I mean, there's all the typical social media aspects. If you want to see, if you like the game, great. Please help support it. If you just want to play it and download, you can do that too. And if you're interested in seeing some of the development behind the scenes, do follow me on one of those social media sites, because I will broadcast at least once a week some programming, some new feature creation, and just trying to show off what is going on.
And AJ, go ahead and drop your links and promote yourself a little bit and tell everybody what it is you do and why they should care and all that.
Okay. Well, I'm AJsmith90. You can find me on Twitter or here on Twitch. I don't have a set schedule for when I stream, or I don't really have a particularly favorite game to stream. I'm very open to different styles, different genres. So if anybody has game suggestions, again on Twitter or Twitch, please let me know, and I'll try and get around to them. So.
And are you back, Max?
I think I am.
Hey!
I had to resort to a different method. I'm so sorry about that.
Are you now Twitch like Skyping from your phone? Is that what you're doing?
Basically.
Ooh, that. Oh well, it works. It works.
Yes. Yes.
Go ahead and we're doing the outros here. Just tell everybody where they can find you, what you do, why they should care, and I would say drop links, but you're on your phone.
I'll do my best.
So Jen, drop Max links, would you? Jen's
Please.
wonderful like that.
I'm Maximusj07. You can find me at Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, at all those same username on all those places. I play a lot of different games. My YouTube has been very idle for a few months now since I've been doing Twitch, but I do have a couple Payday 2 videos ready to load up there, so kind of maybe sort of coming back with that. I don't know. And then I play just a random selection of games on my Twitch, just whatever I feel like playing at the moment. I do enjoy the occasional story games, so that's kind of my main focus, I guess. But I have a lot of fun. I love interacting with my chat, and yeah, it's great. So
awesome, and he's also a great twerker. You can't forget. That's like it's the header. Yes, that's the header of your resume right there. That's the head of your resume.
Yes. Oh, great.
I had to put that in here before we ended the podcast.
Luca, if you're still in
Thank you.
chat, feel free to drop your website link.
And I am Fedora Gamer. I am primarily a YouTuber, and I Twitch every now and then. The Randomly Generated Podcast will be on my channel until Exox comes back every week at the same time as this week, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also check me out on YouTube, which is where I primarily put content up. I'm going to try to stream every now and then as well, but I end up randomly in other people's stream calls now and then as well, so you can just find me around Twitch not doing anything of value. And just check me out on the YouTubes and all of that. And I would like to thank everybody for coming back to the Randomly Generated Podcast. I know we had been gone for a while, and it's really great to have it up and running again. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.